Just start off with the most important thing tonight, that obviously that was in honor of Jeff Charles. And without a doubt, that's where I know this community, this university, our program, that's where everyone's heart is in terms of with Jeff, he and his family. And, that was for him. And, the guys were inspired by it. They were, for the last few days, preparing. They've had him on their mind. And, we just, obviously our hearts go out to the situation for he and his family. Great, incredible respect for Wes Miller and the Cincinnati program, their basketball team, their players, their coaching staff. Have always had great respect for him as a coach and their program. Ecstatic that we were able to find a way to come back in the second half, and I thought the guys showed a great amount of resiliency, really stayed the course of what we were trying to do as we were making adjustments also. And sometimes the scoreboard didn't reflect that, particularly in the second half. But Cincinnati has been great all year putting these strong runs on teams where they go on 10-0 runs, 11-0 runs. They went on us on the first half 11-0. We came back and answered it, but the last 10 minutes were a special effort for our guys.
Questions?
Coach, if you can, how do you put those 10 minutes into words? Like, it almost felt like once the crowd got into it, it just seemed like, something magical was happening.
Yeah, it did feel like that. Again, and sports momentum is just a real special thing. It's what we all love about sports. It doesn't matter where you're sitting, if you're on the bench, on the court, in the stands, watching it on TV. Like, there's something special about when those kind of moments happen, and I think that's what happened in there tonight. From a basketball standpoint, here's what we kept talking about in every timeout. We said, we can't play this game based on the way that scoreboard looks right now. When we were down 10, down 12, we said, we've prepared 2 days to be ready for this game. We have to continue to do what our preparation had called for, keep doing it, do it at a higher level, and then obviously we had to make adjustments on both ends of the floor. We made some adjustments defensively on how we were defending their ball screens, and then we made adjustments on offense. Once a couple balls went through the basket, once Brandon made those back-to-back threes, RJ got an offensive rebound, you start to see, all right, the guys are feeling a little different offensively, and so we made some adjustments there in the last 10 minutes. But the bottom line was the guys never stopped trying to play the right way. And that was the key, and we kept talking about that. Just keep playing, and something can flip this momentum, and it did.
Maybe sometimes a game outcome kind of pales in comparison to like real life scenarios. But was this game a decent or a good distraction, maybe some things, or was it a good way to just allow yourselves to kind of feel something special happening?
I wouldn't call it a distraction, only because, the truth is we have been off since last Saturday. We played SMU, or maybe we played one of our most complete games of the year in here last Saturday. So it's 11, 12 days that you haven't been on the court. And they had a couple days off after that game because we had a bye week. So they were doing other things, and then we're preparing for Tulane, and obviously the magnitude of the situation over the weekend. And so it's very emotional. So now you come back and you have to find a way through kind of being together and kind of, just a real somber moment, stay together, but know that you're going to have to get back to playing. And so when we got back in the gym, we got in the gym Saturday when we got back. Sunday was off, Super Bowl Sunday. We spent a lot of time together Saturday. But Monday and Tuesday, the guys, I think, were excited to play because we haven't played since, 11 days. And so I think, maybe that also showed why maybe we were a little winded to start the game. I think everyone says, oh, you're fresh. Yeah, but you also get a little tired quickly. So we tried to sub just to try and get our second wind.
RJ was getting some good looks, but not finishing early in the game. You guys kept going to him, and down the stretch, basically, isolated him and to Julius. Just, what gave you confidence in that matchup down the stretch?
Well, again, you're right. I think RJ was 1 for 10 at halftime. And but RJ, a lot like what we just talked about with this team, just kept, he wasn't going out of character. The ball just wasn't going in the basket. He was still working to defend. He was fighting through cramps. He was fighting through stuff. And, once, again, Brandon makes those 2 threes, kind of gets, I think, the game back to 9 or 11, somewhere in that range. And our pace on offense picked up. Early in the year, you remember, Stephen, we talked about a lot, hey, sometimes our pace in the half court was a little slower. It felt like that early in this game. We got a little stagnant. But when we started scoring the second half, we went to our switching defense. We got a couple plays in transition. What happened was the movement got better. RJ gets an offensive rebound, and that got him going. So you see the players got it going, and we've gone to that set before, a few games. We went to that set many games, and RJ delivered tonight. And we went to the same set for Brandon, and he delivered on the last basket of the game. It just we put him in that spot.
Does that just show the importance of like just continuing to shoot when it's not going in? Just keep at it.
I mean, if you don't shoot, you can't score. So you got to keep shooting. Here's what I told the guys. I said, guys, at halftime, we have to keep getting the shots we want because we were having success on the offensive glass. The one thing you can't do, if you remember back to the first half, Jaden Walker got in there one time and started pivoting, and he threw it away. Threw almost got a turnover, and then Ezra threw the ball in the backcourt. I said, guys, you guys got to get in there, get a shot up, and let us go get it. Because if we stop shooting it and we start pivoting and getting tentative, they're just sucking up to the shooters, and then a turnover, you got no chance. And a turnover leads to baskets the other way. So I think that confidence helped the guys. But yeah, it's what you said, you have to keep shooting it. It's not about is the shot going in or not. It's about are you getting the shot quality, you getting the right shots. And we really look at that very hard throughout the game and at halftime, and we were getting the shots we wanted. They're just not going in sometimes, and that's part of the game.
Speaking of RJ, his play to save that ball going out of bounds to get it back to Quentin, can you just take us through that? I'm sure you maybe weren't through when the ball was thrown across
well,
the board.
we drew it up so that if we could throw it long, and I actually thought Jaden had a chance to throw that ball long early, and I think RJ, it wouldn't have been that kind of jumping contest with him and DeJulius. But once he didn't throw it, you have to look for the guys that are flashing to the ball. And, Cincinnati, we had no timeout. Cincinnati's pressuring, and he threw that late. Just great effort by RJ. It turns into a jumping contest. That's not what we designed it to be, a jumping contest. We wanted it to be almost like a go route where if he has a step on him, you throw it and you can kind of either use clock or go get a layup. But at that point, you can't take a 5 count. You can't call a timeout. So I give Jaden credit. The smartest thing to do is throw it down, because if they do intercept it, the clock is in your face. They got to bring it back. You throw it there and they get a turnover. It could be a difficult situation. So I'm proud of Jaden and him in reacting that way and making that decision.
How do you feel about the way the team dominated the boards tonight with 17 second chance points?
That was so big for us, and it really has been such a big thing for us all year. We do emphasize it. We want to attack the glass. If we work on it, it's something that the guys take great pride in. Quentin got us started first play of the game with an offensive rebound. That's really big for us. The other reason is, there's not, in a lot of games, we don't have a real high percentage shooting the ball. There's been games where we've struggled to put it in from behind the arc, or we struggled. Again, I say it, a shot and a chance to offensive rebound is so much better than a turnover. And if you can get shots up, you got a chance for it to go in, you got a chance to go offensive rebound, and you can set your transition defense. So as we keep learning that, I think our offensive rebounding will continue to be strong, but I'm hoping we make a high percentage of our shots too. We don't need as many.
What does it say about Jaden's resolve or maybe calmness when he's got the ball, the place is going nuts, and he just knows the right places to put it at the right time?
You know what, he has been the way he's grown as playing the point guard spot, the last 2 games in particular, has been really tremendous. So proud of Jaden. We told him that in there. I know last game versus SMU, he had 8 assists. Tonight, I haven't really looked at the stat sheet yet, but tonight he's 5 of 7, and he has 4 assists. And so that's big. That's big. It's obviously not his true natural position, but he does have the ability to do it, and he did a great job of it tonight. And when he starts commanding and communicating with the guys out there like that, I think that's a great thing, and he's going to keep getting better from there.
All right, time for one more. Y'all have one?
Coach, as a coach, there's no playbook for what y'all experienced in New Orleans. So how did y'all try and handle the situation, whether it be mental, as far as physical, just leaving New Orleans and trying to get back on the right track mentally with your guys? How do you handle that?
Obviously the number one thing was everyone being together and just spending time together. That was paramount more than anything. So whether it was that evening, Friday in New Orleans, and all that night, and then the next day when we traveled back that morning, we stayed together as a team all the way till nearly 6 or 6:30 that night on Saturday. Then we separated, but we had a lot of time to spend time talking, meeting, just being together. Again, especially young kids or young men, they're going to deal with it. Everyone's going to deal with it a little different, but it's no different than adults. Any of us, everyone has their own way of coping with heavy situations like that. So we just spent time together Friday night, Saturday. We did get in the gym. We got back Saturday just to get them back in an element where they felt good shooting, and we, got up, just shot. It was just shot on Saturday. Sunday was off. It was a Super Bowl, and then we got back at it Monday morning with our preparation for this game. But it did come up several times. There was talking about it. Some players had really good relationship with Jeff because they knew him from their time here. Some guys had just been at the radio show the Monday before, and so it's hard. Young guys, but being together, trying to keep your routine as much as possible, and like you said, there's no script for it.